God delivers me from my bitterness. And it's a bit of a longer story. It was through a young man, Victor, who was a paraplegic. I heard about his story online, was added to his prayer page. God showed me how Victor was willing to love him even though he had lost everything. And when I was on my computer one night reading about Victor's story, the Holy Spirit came over me and said, you are only willing to love God if he does something for you. Your love is shallow. So in that moment, it was like my eyes were open to my selfishness. And I just laid all my heart out to God and asked him to forgive me. And he literally, it was like a light switch. I was a new woman, filled by God, filled by Jesus. And now I had this hope in my heart, and people started telling me, you need to write a book, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. I'm like, I'm not writing a book. Anyway, God reached me enough to get me to write my first book, Beauty from Ashes.
You are listening to Meeting House here on Faith Radio. It is the Summer 2024 Christian Product Expo in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is the Meeting House here on Faith Radio. Cindy Henson joining us today. Suitcases from Heaven is your most recent book. Let me set this up now. So you have experienced, really, as you described it, a miracle of the heart. You had really gotten your relationship right with God. You had asked the Lord to heal your son with severe autism, and he had not done that. And so you were you were bitter about it, I should say.
Yeah.
You were bitter about it.
I could have strangled him.
God has healed your heart. And so now Jasmine comes into your life. Your daughter-in-law, she marries another of your sons.
Ethan.
And Ethan married her. She was already terminally ill. And she comes into your home saying, I am believing for a miracle.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, the rest of the story, obviously, is that, well, Jasmine did not survive.
No, she didn't.
Someone might say, and please understand what I'm saying here, Cindy, someone might look at things on the surface and say, well, you're 0 for 2 in this.
That's right.
What's wrong with this picture? But fortunately, you had a God-centered perspective.
Yes.
As a result of what you had gone through with your son Kyle. And so you were able to really face this situation with Jasmine.
Yes.
But I'm sure that it was obviously we should pray in faith. I think that's
Yes.
great. We should.
Yes.
So how is it that you were able to relate to her being terminally ill in light of what you had been through?
So Jasmine and Ethan had to move in with us when she became, at her worst. They moved in with us. And so when Ethan went to work every evening, me and Vance, my husband, we became her caregivers. My husband took time off work to help be her caregiver too. And so during that time, I actually fell into deep mourning, what I call pre-mourning, because I knew she wasn't going to get a miracle. And I became very depressed and sad about this, to the point where I just felt like I wasn't functioning, but I wasn't angry with God. And so one morning as I woke up early, I went into my office and I was praying about this. And I was like, Lord, I just can barely put a foot in front of the other. I am so sad. She's going to be leaving us soon. Help me. And it was just like my other moment I had with God before. It was like in an instant. He was like, Cindy, I want you to pack up your mourning, and I want you to grab onto hope and help Jasmine hope in a miracle to the day she's gone. She needs you to help her hope. Once you don't have hope anymore, what's the point in living? There's no point anymore. You need to live with hope every day. So I hopped on her hope train, and I helped Jasmine hope until the day she died. I never once told her I didn't believe in her miracle. I hid that from her. I would go into her room, hey, Jasmine, how you doing today? I put on a smile, whether I was feeling it or not, and just helped her, believe that, today was going to be another good day. And then every day then after that began to be a genuine day of joy in helping her hope.